The first question for the candidates for mayor of the city of Fulton. This is an open-ended question for you to finish the sentence. I am uniquely qualified for this position because, and Mickey, you were by luck of the draw, our first person.
Well, I feel like I'm uniquely prepared for this job because of many different reasons. But one being that I worked for the city of Fulton for 18 and a half years as a police department. I've been around the operations of the city. I've seen how things are run in the police department as well as some of the other areas. And after serving up that time at the police department, the people of Fulton elected me 5 times as the city commissioner. I served 10 years on the Fulton City Commission. I didn't run in the last election, but some people asked me to run this time, and I love the city of Fulton. I've always have, and because of my inside knowledge of the departments and the spending, I feel like that makes me a big asset for the city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And following in order, Dan, pose the same open-ended question to you.
Thank you, Mike. First, let me say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this event. Thanks to all the folks who got out in this nasty weather to come out tonight to be a part of this. And thanks to WFUL and WBOT for allowing a larger audience to see this. Your question was, what makes me uniquely qualified? I think that the first thing was an overwhelming or a very large request from people that asked me to run for this office to try to bring about some change in Fulton. I think that helps an awful lot. I served on the city commission back in the 1970s. I spent 3 terms on the city commission when Fulton was at maybe its just about its zenith in population at that point in time. And then I served 12 years on the school board, which gave me an all the other different perspective and helped me see things in the city from a different light. For the last few years I've been involved, the last 3 years particularly, I've been involved in economic development for the city of Fulton, Fulton County, and now more recently an organization made up of Fulton County and Hickory County. And I think through those various organizations I've gained insight into what's going on, as well as the folks that I know across the city and who feel free to talk to me about things, and I try to listen to them very closely. So I think all those qualities put together uniquely qualify me for this position. Thank you.
Okay. Everybody knows who I am. I've been in politics since 1990. I feel like I'm the best candidate for this because I'm experienced, I'm dedicated, and I'm concerned for Fulton and all citizens. I also believe it's time to make some changes, some restructure, some city departments, provide better ways to get the job done in a timely and different way, in a different manner. I've been successful in obtaining some funds, just the short year that I've been there. When other people were told no, they couldn't get the funds that we needed for the industrial park. We've received $245,000 from the state government just recently to make our water lines in West Fulton more operable and have more pressure when emergencies arrive. Our natural gas prices are down 13%. These things aren't easy, and everybody has to work together to make this happen. Just yesterday, I called the government office because I'm concerned about the ambulance service. And I got a lady to help me to find some grants. I forward that on to the ambulance personnel, and we're working in that way. My door is always open. People know where I am. They come to talk to me regularly. My phone rings just because I have a business and I work all the time. No reason I can't talk to my constituents.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to question number 2 now, and by draw, the order in this particular question is Elaine, Mickey, then Dan. And in these questions, as we go along, you might have touched on bits and pieces of it, obviously. Certainly making your opening remarks there. But if you will, address the specific question as each of the others are asked here. What will you do, Elaine, first here? What will you do to help attract more commercial growth and to create more jobs?
In that way, the city commission and myself and everyone within the city works with economic development to help these things come about. You know, we're just, economic development has just brought Hart Transportation to the city to locate in the industrial park. I think with our economic development person, we've been able to have daily visits that people don't even know about in the city to attract industry and jobs. And it's important to have the personnel that's qualified to perform these duties. And so, you know, working together as a unit, that's what I like to do.
And Mickey, I'll reread the question just so everybody stays with the specific. What will you do to help attract more commercial growth and to create more jobs?
Well, I'd have to say, I agree with a lot of what Elaine said. As mayor and commissioners, a lot of times that we don't deal with the industry or commercial growth until it's brought before us. But I mentioned before in some articles that by keeping the town looking better, by us as citizens be careful what we say when we're out in coffee shops and places like that, when we want to kind of talk bad about the city, because you never know when an industrial prospect or someone is going to come into the city. And believe it or not, they will go to coffee shops and other places, and they will talk to you, the citizens, without the city even knowing they're here. So I think we need to take pride in our town. Our storm we had here a while back shows the bond that we have as a community, where everybody pitches in when things get tough. And we saw that, and I don't see any reason that we can't work together to try to get some more commercial business in the industry, but we have to also remember that we're sure competing against a lot of folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. And Dan, I'll repeat it for you. What will you do to help attract more commercial growth and create more jobs?
One of the large things that I think needs to be done early on is to find ways to make the city easier to do business with. Right now, it appears that when someone moves to town, even a resident, and particularly a business moves to town, there are a number of obstacles they have to overcome in order to become part of our community. And I think the very first thing we need to do is to address some issues in City Hall that make City Hall easier to do business with, so it's a friendlier place, so it's easier for somebody to move into town or get into business. This has to do everything from utility deposits to building permits to the whole gamut. Now, there's a business in town now that started trying to get into business almost a year ago. They still haven't been successful. Now, some of that's the individual business owner's problem, but not all of it is. And we need to find ways to address that. I think the very first thing we need to do is to figure out ways to make Fulton more attractive to residents. Our property values are falling because we don't have as many residents as we could and not much demand for housing. We need to get that squared away. And one of the first things the city can do in that regard is to work on the appearance of the city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we're moving on to question number 3. The order changes with Dan first, Elaine second, and Mickey third. And I'll pose the question, Dan, do you have plans to introduce and or strengthen any working relationships between the cities of Fulton and South Fulton?
Absolutely. That's something we worked very hard on when I was on the commission years ago. You know, it's a South Fulton resident, when he heard that I was running for this position, came to me and asked if I would be interested in trying to work together with South Fulton on a number of projects, including some recycling efforts. And I think that's a wonderful place that we could work together as a community. Fulton is not big enough to do it by itself efficiently, neither is South Fulton. Together, I think we have the opportunity to do a number of things. And so, yes, I have several ideas in mind that I would like to pursue, beginning with the recycling effort. Thank you.
And moving on to you, Elaine, same question.
Okay, I don't know if everybody knows, but we do have agreements with the South Fulton Police. We have agreements with the South Fulton Environment as well, you know, on on call if somebody's needed at a fire. South Fulton's on, is the first one to be called after Fulton. And